So we'd now like to bring Andy and Mike back to the show in order to shine a spotlight on the city of Martinsville, Virginia. Mike, Andy, welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I guess right out of the gate, tell us what makes the city of Martinsville a great place to live and work.
I guess I'll take that one, or was Andy going to do it?
I was going to talk about living. You can talk about the work.
All right.
We have great outdoor areas around here. We really do. It's a wonderful, wonderful place to just explore nature or go for a hike. And the traffic's not bad, so you can ride a bike and stuff. Not a bad place. Mike, talk about work.
What do you know about work since you're retired? Work here is not bad. The city's a pretty good organization to work for. It's a lot going on, but fairly low stress and a good bunch of people that keep us operating that don't get enough credit. But I'll give them a shameless plug. It is a good work environment.
Awesome. Excellent. Yeah, I know we had the opportunity to develop our project years ago. It was always a welcome destination to be coming to Martinsville there. The only question I kept running into was, do I fly into Greensboro or do I fly into Roanoke, right? And so, and here's the map on the slides here of, you guys are kind of right in the middle there. So, but no, a beautiful area, and yeah, I always enjoyed my travels there. So, some folks on the call, when I said Martinsville, Virginia, they may have immediately gone right to NASCAR. And so is there something going on with racing in Martinsville? Do you want?
Oh, yeah.
We have a
track.
Yeah. You guys got a track or something, right?
Something like that.
A couple big events every year. Does that affect your operations very much?
Not much at all in the last, 10 or 15 years, I guess. And they've
yeah. In the past,
Virginia Department of Transportation and the racetrack. Go ahead.
I remember in the past trying to go down there during a race, people, and being told that the wastewater facility didn't exist. So, yeah, it's gotten better over time. Seems like from one year to the next, there was no continuity, but that seems to have improved.
Okay. And I'm sure you both had a little bit to do with that, right? Just a little bit. So, getting to our, the project that we had there, would you mind talking a little bit about some of the issues and challenges that you were facing that prompted you to work with Johnson Controls to develop? It was water meters, electric meters. You went with an AMI network and street lighting as well. Would you mind telling us a little bit about what some of those challenges were that prompted you to make some changes?
Yeah, I'll defer to Andy.
Yeah, that's. I researched it for years. Our meters were old, probably average 25 years. They weren't as far off as I thought they'd be for being that old, but they were definitely needing a change. And I researched it, looked and decided AMR would be our best bet. And somewhere along the way, I don't know how, but Johnson Control said they came and did a presentation to us, and then we ended up doing a back of an envelope thing, and they basically were the ones who led us to the AMI. They gave us the avenue, told us how we would go about it, really did the financing behind it. Well, we did our own financing, but they did they guaranteed that our it would be self-funding type thing. Mm-hmm. and they also went to council and presented it to them. They were great help along the way. Did the project management, which I don't know how we could have done without that. So I'm kind of glad everything just fell like that. But they just showed up out of nowhere. I don't know where they even. Then again,
we have a tendency to do that.
Yeah, I was about to give up, but I'm glad we went through it, because the whole process went pretty well as far as I was concerned. And as seen as all the challenges of not having known anything about it, I don't know how we would have done it without you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know specifically with Martinsville, those electric meters were a big lure to AMI as well, just because, of some of the increased capability there. Yes. Yep. So, okay.
Yeah,
so
both made it worthwhile. And then, of course, with the lighting and all, helped fund the project. And, that, like I said, the controls brought in a wealth of information, about different types of meters and AMI and all that. So I think that was just, like I said, I'm glad that happened, because the meters did need to be changed. And if you're going to change the meters, you might as well be putting the radios in and all that at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I know it.
And just so I was going to say, and just so everybody knows on the webinar, every time Andy says Johnson Controls, he gets $20. So just so everybody knows, I'm just kidding. So Andy, obviously we implemented this system. What were some of the changes in the processes and the procedures that you had to make when you migrated from what was a manual system, whether it was electric or water or whatever, you were manually reading those, and you went to an AMI network? What were some of the procedural changes after everything was installed that you had to make?
Well, I will say that, that they also ran into our brain. I don't know. A lot of this came from Core in Maine, is that you have to maintain the system or it's not going to be worth anything. And so far, I think they've done a very good job. Mike's crews and meter readers have done a great job of keeping the system running, not just sitting back and letting it deteriorate. Just the wealth of knowledge you all brought, and just was priceless to help us make the changes. I know we had a lot of trouble with the electric meters because they were doing a triple billing, for some of the ones that had like power factor and demand readings, and that had to be brought into one. And SL Circo, I think, helped a lot with that too, doing the change over there. They were real helpful, Monty. I remember that. That was I think the bigger issue was the electric meters, because our old system, the billing had to be changed, but we were able to also get the garbage billing in along with the changes, so everything's worked out well.
Okay. Yeah, so you really kind of into the next one here. I mean, as far as you as the utility, as far as the citizens of Martinsville, how has everybody really benefited from the project?
I have to leave that to Mike.
Well, I think that it's simplified. Obviously, gathering all this information, we don't have to send somebody out to read each meter, but the citizens' benefit from my position is it's really satisfying to be able to pick the phone up and call them and say, hey, looking at your consumption, it looks like it's gone up. You might want to have a look around, make sure you don't have anything broken or running, and offer to send somebody to help them figure out what's going on. And I don't think in the 3.5 or so years I've been doing this now, I've ever had anybody just be nothing but appreciative because you're helping them save money and potentially saving them from damage. So it's from that side of it, it's really a neat system. It works well.
Yeah,
excellent. I know you're. Yep.
I was going to say that one of the things when I was wanting to change the meters, I wanted it. The only really thing I had in mind was leak detection, and so that became a driving force for me. But that along the way, we forget that. But that's really been a big deal for the city. You know, being able to handle leak detection proactively instead of reactively, and
instead of dealing with it.
Yeah, the billings have moved up to where the people's bills are much closer to their usage than they were, because you had the meter readers reading, and then that just was got. So, you know, that's really helpful too. But anyway.
Yeah, you're not having to deal with the angry people calling about a high bill. You can let them know before the high bill comes, right?
No, hopefully hit it off.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
I've had people tell me I was wrong. We send someone over there and find the toilet running. That happened a lot, especially in the beginning. I see somebody asked how many connections we have. I think we had 7,500 water and 8,000 electric endpoints.
Mm-hmm. Yep, those are the numbers that are in my mind.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, thank you both for that. If you have a moment here, I know we're running over here, but I wanted to make sure we were able to talk about Martinsville. Do you have a moment to stay on and answer a couple questions?
Sure.
Yeah, my schedule allows it. I have to take the dogs out later.
Okay. All right. Well, we do have one, and it is, have you added any additional sensors to your AMI network, such as maybe pressure or temperature or any of that?
We are in the process of installing, I think it's going to be 5 points to monitor pressure and temperature, which will help us with, if we have a leak somewhere, help us identify it, and it will help with controlling THMs and stuff like that out in the system. Hopefully have that done in the next couple of months.
Excellent. So you got a future-proof network is what you're saying.
Sounds like it.
All right. Excellent. All right. And then there's one more. It's really, if you could think of, is there any advice or one big point that you would give to other utilities that are facing similar challenges? I know we talked a lot about some of the intricacies, but is there one thing that's really on your mind that you would want to share? One thing in particular?
Don't go at it alone. Get some help. It's out there, and it's worth it. You know, you don't realize how many things you don't know going into it once you start doing it. But having that boots on the ground from Johnson Controls or whoever it would be that's done it before makes a big difference. You know, where we had Jason and had a couple of them, but there always seemed to be someone they kept on the ground that knew has done this some before, and that just is priceless. You know, to deal with subcontractors, they just know what they're doing.
Well, we sure appreciate that.
Yes, thank you.
All right.